UFC 266 on Saturday, September 25th features some really good fights, including a welterweight main card battle between Nick Diaz and South Florida's Robbie Lawler. Lawler's accolades are outstanding, an impressive fighter, so many fight of the night to his resume, as well as a welterweight championship in UFC and fight of the year performances as well. You can go on and on about the accomplishments of Robbie Lawler, but his focus is going to be Nick Diaz and trying to topple this in a rematch about 15, 16, 17 years in the making. So thank you so much, Robbie. First, just tell us, what can we expect from this fight between these two outstanding warriors, Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler?
No, it should be a good fight. Nick always comes to fight. I always come to fight. So he's a stand-up guy. Obviously, he's well-rounded. He has high-level jiu-jitsu, so I have to be ready for everything.
You've been fighting professionally for 20 years. How have you just been able to do that consistently at a high level?
Just taking care of my body, keeping the right mindset, and just kind of just enjoying what I do. When you enjoy what you do, you don't get beat up too much. Actually had really good coaches, really good teammates around me, and definitely just want to take care of your body in this sport. It could be rough.
Well, you fought Nick in 2004, and he won that fight. But Robbie, it was so long ago. Can you even take anything from that fight going into this one, or it's been just so far, a long time ago, that you really can't do that?
Yeah, no, we've grown so much. I've grown so much. He's changed. It's just one of those things where you have to chalk it up, see what he's done in his most recent fights, and just work off of that.
Now, you last fought in August of 2020 against Neil Magny, and then prior to that, Colby Covington was a year prior to that. Robbie, has it just worked out that way that the fights have been spread out for you, or was there other factors involved in that decision-making process between you and UFC?
No, it just happened to work out that way. Nothing came in, and this was a fight that just kind of worked out for me.
What continues to motivate you, Robbie?
I love competing. I love training and getting ready for fights. So it's just something I've done my whole life and something I enjoy doing. So it's not hard to get out there and compete and do what I like to do.
And you mentioned you like to do that, and that's something that's kept you going, the passion for fighting. When you're in those fights, Robbie, do you learn more from a loss, or do you learn more from a win, or you just take it fight by fight?
Fight by fight, but you definitely learn a lot in losses and wins. But it's all about getting better each fight, no matter what, and trying to figure it out. Because definitely losses you can learn a lot from too.
Well, Robbie, you've had some amazing fights throughout your career. And even recently, I mean, you go down the list of fighters that you fought, and obviously they fought you. But when you look at that list, there's so many big names on it. What do you credit that you've been able to fight, not only fight all this time, but just continue to fight big names?
It's just what I've been doing my whole life. I've always tried to do this at a high level, tried competing at the highest level, and with all the work that I've put in, it's still paying off, and just a blessing.
Well, Neil Magny, Colby Covington, Ben Askren, Rafael Dos Anjos, Donald Cerrone, Tyrone Woodley. It's just, that's just your recent fights, and you go on, and just big fights and all. I'm curious, Robbie, because we've seen some crossover between MMA fighters and boxers, whether it's Vitor Belfort fighting Evander Holyfield, Anderson Silva fighting Tito Ortiz in a boxing match, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. Well, I'm just curious of your thoughts. Is that something that down the road you would be interested in doing some crossover fighting?
Yeah, I actually haven't put any effort proper thought into it. I'm just kind of focusing on what I do, and that's about it.
Training at Sanford MMA, you have to tell me about Sanford. I've been to Sanford a few times. It's an incredible facility, an all-in-one shop. What are your thoughts of being a part of Sanford MMA and what it's grown into?
It's awesome being a part of Sanford MMA. Really good training partners, really good coaches, and a nice facility. Very great team atmosphere, and we're doing a lot, and we're all growing. So we're helping each other get better, and that's what the sport's all about.
Sanford MMA has some tremendous fighters and coaching. And Robbie, is it more of a team atmosphere as well? I know MMA is so individualized, but at Sanford MMA, even, I'll say this, I was at the PFL fights recently in August, and I saw, including yourself, I saw a large contingent of Sanford MMA fighters and personnel at those fights supporting some of the other fighters. And I'm just wondering what kind of atmosphere it is team-wise at Sanford.
No, it's a great team atmosphere, really good coaches. That's how you get better in fighting. You have to have good training partners, guys who are helping you get better, helping you grow, and that's what we're doing at Sanford MMA.
What has been like training for this fight? In particular, who's been helping you for this fight to get ready?
I've had a lot of good training partners for this fight, just whoever's in there. Jason Jackson's been helping me out a lot. Just kind of whoever my coaches are putting me with.
It's interesting because Rory MacDonald had moved down during the pandemic and is now training at Sanford MMA, and one of the all-time great fights was Robbie Lawler against Rory MacDonald, and it was a Fight of the Year winner. And I'm curious if you got to get in there and do any training with Rory, whether it was for your fight or getting ready for his.
Yeah, he's in there. We're in there at the same time. We rolled around a little bit. A lot of guys in there. Yeah.
Hey, Robbie, what makes you just continue to enjoy? Because you mentioned it's a passion for you. What just makes you continue to enjoy getting out there and training and competing?
It's something I've done my whole life. I love taking care of my body. I love the growth of the sport and growth in my training. But obviously there's other fighters out there who need my help, and it's just a giving and taking. So sometimes I'm in there helping them, sometimes they're helping me.
Well, however long you take this, however long you want to go with fighting, do you have any thoughts of when you're done with fighting, of what you want to do?
No, I'm not focusing on that right now. Just focusing on the task at hand, and worry about that when that comes around.
Robbie, also, I was curious, your father was in the military?
Yeah, he was in the military.
Was that ever something that you thought about doing, going into the military back in the day?
No, not really. No, I've always wanted to fight, so.
And then also, I was curious, what brought you to South Florida and to train here? Was it because of the top training that was down here, or were there other factors that brought you to South Florida? And what are your thoughts of South Florida?
What brought me to the South Florida was all the training partners, good gyms down here. The weather's nice, pretty much 75% of the year. So, yeah, it's nice.
And Robbie, I'm also curious, because you've been an outstanding fighter for all these years and continue to do well fighting, what have you seen in the growth of MMA since when you even debuted back in, I believe, 2001?
Obviously, the sport's grown a lot over the years since I started fighting. A lot more fans, a lot more mainstream exposure, a lot more shows every week, every month, every year. It's just like one show after the next. Lots of different organizations. The sport's just exploded.
Robbie, do you still have the desire? Do you want to be a champion again?
I'm just taking it one fight at a time. That's what this is all about. And September 25th is my next step.
And September 25th, it's also, what has it been like too with just dealing with the pandemic and no fans, and now we're trying to get back to normal with everything and getting that going again. What was that process like for you?
It's the same as anything. You don't worry about it. You just train. That's it. You can't control what's happening on the outside. All you can control is how you're training and how you're preparing.
And Robbie, when you look back, how do you look back at your career so far? Do you take time to reflect on it, or no, because you're just going in the moment and just getting ready for this fight, so you're not really looking back at just, gosh, Robbie, so many accomplishments throughout your career?
Yeah, I don't really look back at what I've accomplished. It's all about focusing on how I can get better and focusing on today and the present moment.
Well, we'll wrap this up, and I appreciate your time, and it's just going to be, it's a really good card, UFC 266, and it's Saturday, September 25th. And Robbie, there's some really good fights on this card as well, not only your fight. Just what do you think overall of the card and being a part of this card?
I just look at it as I'm going there, showing up, and it's me versus Nick Diaz, and that's all I'm focusing on, just showing up, getting my weight down, and that's it.
Oh, and I also want to touch base too, because ESPN has been so involved with UFC, and just what is that like, having UFC part of ESPN and trying to help and grow the process of MMA?
I have no idea, because that's not what I do. I mean, that's like what the UFC is doing, helping promote and that type of stuff. But really, once again, it's training, eating, sleeping. That's all I focus on, really.
Is it cool being on ESPN then, or you just really don't look at it that way?
No, I've been doing this for so long. I fought on many channels, fought where no one watched, so it's not. I just like competing.
And then lastly, I want to go back to Sanford MMA, and just what can you say about Henry Hoof, Greg Jones, and the team there, and what they're doing in Deerfield Beach, Florida, and South Florida?
No, they're doing a good job of getting a lot of good fighters down there, getting them to buy into helping each other grow, and just working and grinding and getting better. So it's a great team atmosphere, a family atmosphere, and we're doing pretty good down there.
Gee, Robbie, are there any younger fighters that are there that you look at and say, well, you know, this one is doing well, this one's got a lot of potential coming up, or anything like that, or you don't really look at it that way?
No, there's a lot of fighters. I'm not going to name names or anything, but we have a lot of up-and-comers, a lot of guys who are on the cusp. So it's just continuing to grow and get better. That's what it's all about.
And it really helps everybody there, too, in the growth process. And having you there helps a lot of those fighters as well. So, Robbie Lawler, all the best. Thank you so much. UFC 266, Saturday, September 25th.